There are always items in your toolbox that are a little bit underappreciated. One of those, for me, is my Gränsfors hatchet. This one is the Wildmax Ixa or wildlife hatchet, and I love this thing. I've been abusing mine for about 12 years, meaning not only making some firewood, you know, cutting small pieces off, hammering on the top just to cut through, also setting up tents and whatnot, stationary tents from Svalbard, for example. I just used metal rods and hammered them into the gravel. Pretty decent work. That's why I also had to grind it down here now a little bit, because it really got bent in a little bit. For a lot of axes that would be a huge ass problem, because the handle would start to wiggle. This one here still solid as shit. So in terms of craftsmanship, you can't get better than that. This one here has been laying in snow, laying in water, laying in all kinds of stuff, drying out. I just oiled it again, as you can see. So now it's kind of good to go, but I think that's the first time I ever did that. So it has been going through some shit. Two fun stories. So this is actually not my first sheath. The first one was eaten by a Greenland dog female while I was fixing a log doghouse. It's about 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, so quite a bit. So after that I got this one. So when I was still living on Svalbard and doing all kinds of sled dog tours, I had a stationary tent set up. And one night in December, in one of the Decembers I have been living there, a polar bear mother with 2 cubs visited me. So they smelled all the dog food, because I always have some in cooling boxes and just, you know, a block of meat laying around or whatever it is. And they took it. And with it also my cooling box. And since this tent was laying next to it, they ripped it a little. But most importantly, they also took the hatchet. I actually had some bite marks in it. This one might actually be from it. Not 100% sure, since I grinded it down a little. So they grabbed it because it was smelling like meat, you know. So gently biting into it, but then dropping it in the snow. Since there was a snowstorm coming, I couldn't find it for a long period of time. But after a couple of weeks, I actually found it again. And I was super happy to find it again. It's a great story to tell. Obviously nothing happened, my dogs were there as well, so nothing really has happened. So that was a cool little incident, although my cooling box didn't survive it. Because they grabbed it and actually cuddled with it during the snowstorm. Because I found it where they actually laid down and hunkered down and waited out the storm, which wasn't so far away from my tent either. So if you're looking for something that is solid and will last you for a long period of time when you're out in the middle of nowhere, if you need a hammer, if you need an axe, take this one with you. The wildlife hatchet, which is amazing. Withstands a lot of beating.